policies. What Uganda has one of the best policies when it comes to participation, when it comes to citizens, when it comes to what Uganda has very good laws actually for the citizens. But when it comes to the implementations of these policies, that is where the challenge is. Yes, in the constitution, in the policy documents and so forth, they say there is space for young people. They have created, we have the youth council, we have the youth MPs, and we have other platforms, again created by also organizations, just like Action Aid, just like currently we are in. These are platforms for young people to air out their issues. But again, the bigger question is, are there issues being heard? Are there issues that they present? Are they taken? That is the major point. Like if we are to present issues here, if we are to say, today as young people of Westnile, we say A, B, C, D, and are these issues being taken seriously? That is where the major problem has always been. For example, again, I'm so happy that he was saying he's actually the chairperson of all the youth council, council within Westnile. And are you aware that there are youth council within other districts that are not complete? For example, my own council of Arua City, we only have like 5 members who are in the youth council. Is that the participation? Is that what we are asking for? No. Actually, we are planning to take the youth council to court very soon for us to block them from participating.
It's your constitution. It's your constitution.
It's my constitutional right for us to stop them from working, because it's supposed to be the responsibility of the electoral commission. I'm coming to that.
Who are you portioning the blame to? Because he cannot.
Of course, it's not them. That is why I'm blaming the current youth, national youth leader, and also the EC. EC is supposed to organize this, but they have failed. They are saying they don't have funds to organize elections such as that, and they have funds to organize elections of MPs. They have funds to organize other elections.
So in short,
the young people's issues
neglected?
are neglected, which means their issues are not being taken seriously.
Yes.
Meaning that those issues are just taken, these are just young people. You know, in Lugwa, we normally say, which means these are just children. You see that these are children. That is how our leaders take us, meaning that they don't take our issues seriously. Any issue that we present, they don't take it.
So what have you done, you as the young people, what have you done to put the different key stakeholders on Tanta to solve that?
Thank you very much. In the last election, me and my colleague were jailed because we tried to stand for the rights of young people. We came up, there were some young people who were over age, they were 30-something above, okay? According to the law, it's supposed to be from 30 below for you to contest in any councillorship of youth. You get it? But there are some young people who are above the age limit of the youth.
Right. Fine.
Now I'm bringing the point of...
I don't want to...
Yes.
Just a moment, Rate. Please also to remind you that I am the commander of this. So I decide when to you speak, but we just want to have a peaceful kind of discussion, and it is peaceful. I love that. It is your space, and no one is going to blame you on that. So my role is just moderate and bring you back when you're going over astray. Yeah, maybe let me pass.
But before that, I just want to say,
because I want to get.
No, I only want to say this, Adam. This is a space for young people to share out their issues. Therefore, you should not rush with us when we are presenting this, and also the members outside there should not get tired of us. Boys of them, we're not going to get tired of it. Today is for us to share issues of young people of Westnile. So let's make the day for us to share out whatever issues are there. Let us share them.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Fine. Let me have let me have Xavier. Xavier, what have the young people benefited from the youth government organizations or entities such as National Youth Council? We also have the Uganda Students Association, UNSA, which is a part of it also. How much has the youth of Uganda benefited in regards to the agenda of the young people, especially quotation from Westnile?
Well, thank you very much, Madam Super Lady. To the viewers outside there and our dear listeners in the house, what one thing that personally I take to myself as a youth leader,
Yes.
understanding and following protocol. It makes me know where I should go and how I should handle myself better. Now, one thing that I want to put clear to our viewers and listeners at this very particular time, as National Youth Council, we comprise of structures starting from the village up to the national. But our main areas of operation is within your jurisdiction.
Yes.
That means me as the district chairperson, I'm accountable to the young people of Nebi district, and I'm responsible for whatsoever good they want out of me. Of course, in National Youth Council, we have 3 objectives. But when all these 3 are combined, it speaks about mobilization, which is positive. That means
mobilization towards what? What is what?
That is now where I wanted to take us. The mobilization is to achieve something from the government, to make awareness in the community about positive things that are happening, both in NGO world and within the government, and also even at personal time.
Is a youth right a human right? Is a youth right a human right?
To me, yes.
And is a human right a youth right?
To me, yes.
And for a youth to demand for services, is it begging?
Absolutely no.
So you agree that it is the mandate of government to
True.
provide.
Exactly.
So
and
even
also
if you,
demand.
And demand.
Exactly.
So you young people are right to demand.
Very, very, very.
How much have you demanded?
Well, that's great. That's where I was trying to take you to. For us as Nebi district, I want to use Nebi as a case study. So that now we understand whether as youth chairpersons who are within this hall or even outside following us online are doing the same thing we're trying to do in Nebi district. Unfortunately, when we are coming into leadership, we lack a few things. One, we're talking of civic education. We're talking of voter education. We're talking about understanding our own participation in some of these parties that we affiliate to. Now, it challenges us so much on the kind of leaders we really want to present. At the end of the day, the young people do not know the type of leaders they are going to have and for what purpose. That is, if you don't present yourself very well to them. And mind you, Youth Council's election as one thing that is challenging issues of academic qualification. They don't consider whether you are in this qualification or you stopped at it. No. Anyone who qualifies, actually from the age of 18 to 30 years, just as it was cited, qualifies to participate in this election. Now, in a situation where I come in as somebody who never went to class, but I feel I should lead this district, I feel I should lead this sub-county, this village. At the end of the day, if the young people believe in me, then they will agree with me to be the leader. Now, what do you expect of somebody who never went to class to do at the district level? I'm not saying we are not educated. And I'm not saying Youth Council is full of people who have not gone to school. No. It depends on which district and
You're
how
actually talking about knowledge.
Exactly.
That for a young person to be a good leader, an effective leader, must be that leader who has some level of knowledge.
Exactly. That is where now for me as a person, I looked at it that within my own council structures of Nebi district, we have got challenges. The challenges we had are many, but I was more interested in seeing that my young people of Nebi go back to school. Now, I can assure you and confirm to the viewers that as youth leaders of Nebi, we have mobilized ourselves all to go back to school.
Wow.
At personal level, I was very surprised to hear a call from one of the villages which I went to. They called me, I went, and these young people were like, we want to present this one, to go back to school. Somebody showing interest. And really, Madam Moderator, what do you now expect of that? You just give in the support if you can. So we were trying to lobby and see that, yes, this young boy is ready to
So
go back.
what I think in your conversation, Xavier, is that some of the challenges the young people are facing in terms of leadership is education level, literacy level.
Yeah, exactly.
Is still very high amongst the young people, and it is something that I think Action Aid needs to capture on this and every other partner who is out there listening, because I think this is a very big impediment. I've interacted with most of the leaders in this country. So, having now known that some of those challenges are the ones impeding you, or probably it's putting you, it's like a shadow to you, what other avenues do you have? For instance, if you look at one of the issues we want to talk about, the issue of the Westnile infrastructure development, there's a lot of gap. When you talk about the Westnile infrastructure development in Zombo, if you look at the roads in Zombo district right now, talk about the schools in Zombo district right now. Now, how are you capturing that? Because those are some of the thematic areas we want us to look at, or the areas of the Westnile infrastructure development. How are you capturing? How do you intend to capture that? What should be done? Ideally.
Well, thank you very much. At my level, the best we can now do is to advocate for this road as young people in leadership, and even the young people we lead. We need to identify where do we expect the government to improve on as far as infrastructural development is concerned.
Yes.
I earlier on cited the issue of power connection that we are now fairly smiling about.
Now you're on the grid, national grid.
Yeah, we are now on the grid. I say about 70%. We are fairly now done.
Yes.
We are currently working on 33 kV, I think.
Yes.
So, the issue of the road is one thing that is now disturbing almost everyone within this sub-region.
Yes.
Not only Nebi district and the zone you are talking about, but the entire sub-region.
Yes.
That means there is a challenge with us who are in leadership, because we are not telling the community how to demand some of these services that we feel should be done. We're looking at the roads that we're talking about. Nebi Zombo is totally worse. When it comes to rainy season, it is impassable. Now, how do you expect me to do my business freely? I earlier on said I do transport. That means I'm supposed to commit from Nebi to Zombo, but the road is bad. Now,
and you're also a businessman.
Exactly. So the best I should do is to encourage my young people to understand how best government runs its program. If they understand how government runs its program, they will get to know how best they should demand for some of these services delivered.
How do you advise? Because now we need to look at this, some of the solutions. How do you advise the young people to demand for proper infrastructure development in Westnile?
What is important now, in 2021, we elected our leaders. I was among those who were elected. There is need for our leaders, right from parliament up to grassroots, to come down and understand how do we move about these issues of the road. Because now you cannot expect this community where this road passes to demand for it, and yet it is you who connects them to government. So I expect our leaders of Westnile, the parliamentarians we have from Westnile, to come together and brainstorm how do we achieve this. Now that we are on power, the next speed should be now taken to the road. Let us understand. And the road is not only Nebi Zombo. Look at how our young people are suffering from Terego up to Ajumani, from Koboko up to Ajumani. I've ever moved. There is no district that I've not moved to in this country, and no sub-region that I've gone to. But at least Westnile is more worse when it comes to infrastructural development.
Please allow me to interject you. When you're talking about infrastructure development, let us not limit ourselves to only roads. How about the schools?
Fine, that's what we're coming to, but specifically we're trying to also put our interest. Because now, when we also prioritize, it makes us achieve.
So what is your priority?
My priority right now is the road, because you cannot expect me to go to school when the road is not proper. So we need the road more than any other thing.
Fine. Let me get Yasin as we get on to Mercy also to tackle other. Yasin, do you have anything to add on the issue of the infrastructure development? What is the status quo? What needs to be done? Have the members of parliament done enough for us?
The members of parliament have not done much for us. Not only the members of parliament, but also the district leaders. You know, these are some of the leaders that we normally overlook. You get it? We don't take them seriously. But there's a very big problem with also some of the district leaders that we have in the various districts of Westnile. For example, there's a project that is currently happening in Arua City, and this project has been sabotaged mostly by the district leaders. You see, most of the councillors, they will say, we first of all want something before you undertake such a project. You see, these are the bad leaders that we have in our districts, and these are the leaders trying to bring us down, and these are the leaders that are not going to improve the infrastructure.
So what should be done?
Meaning that as as young people, we need to wake up, we need to demand, because there's nothing in the law that says a leader must be paid first before any infrastructural work is undertaken in a specific area. So as young people, we must stand up, we must speak out, we must point at these leaders and say, you are wrong. And whenever we get some of this information, we should come forward with them. We should not remain down there with them. We should come forward and report such issues.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much, Yasin. Now, let me go to Mercy. Quite have talked about the infrastructure development, but another thematic area is the issue of the youth employment. If you look at the age bracket of the young people, from the age of 16 up to 35 years, or from 18 to 35 years, they comprise of the biggest population in Uganda. There are so many opportunities. What are those opportunities that the young people are not fishing out and they are not being involved in? What are the gaps, the challenges the young people are facing? And in any case, your recommendations, what has to be done?
Okay, thank you so much, Super Lady. First of all, when it comes to employment, we see it's a huge issue that so many young people are not employed. That's why they end up in so many dubious kind of activities like joining rebel groups, getting into drug addiction, becoming prostitutes, and all those other kind of irrelevant activities. Yeah. So the reason why I see so much employment in our region, first of all, I take it down to our education system, which is more to back home here. If you go to homes, one time I took that time to go around asking young children, why are they in school? And most of them would reply, because mommy wants me to go to school, because daddy wants me to go to school. And even if you ask these ones who are at universities, why have you chosen the course you're doing? My dad asked me to do it. Or I wanted to do law, but we didn't have money to sustain my legal education. So you find out someone is doing something not because they want to do it, they don't have a driving force, so they're doing it because someone wants them to do it. So how do you expect this person after doing that thing to come out and fish for a job under that field I've undertaken? And secondly, I'm looking at the zeal to get a job. So many, okay, most of us are misled by utopia kind of thinking.
Fiona, Mercy, I want to get back into conversation here. Are you supposed to be job seekers, or is our nation creating job seekers, or is supposed to create job creators?
Okay, I was just coming to that as giving a brief on why we are lagging into unemployment. In the aspect that a young person is being taught theoretically but not practically how to do things. Our education system is so theoretical. You're writing, you're going to do an exam just to pass, but not because you need the knowledge to imply that thing you've studied. So how will this young person come out of graduate? Most of these graduates, by the way, if you ask them to do something practical out of their courses, they cannot do it. So many young people cannot even sit down and write a CV of their own, let alone going to create a job. How can they create their own job if they can't sustain
are you implying that the education system is a hoax?
The education system needs to go more into practical. That's why when you now ask me what can we do, I'll come into the aspect of apprenticeship. Okay. That is what most people don't do. You come out of school, you want to get a job where you're paid some good sum of money. You've not yet got into clerkship, internship, or apprenticeship. By that I mean going, like if I'm a lawyer, I graduate from law school, I don't expect to just jump into court and start practicing. No. I have to go through a senior counsel who will teach me the ways of the legal field before I come out to also practice it. Because in the long run, as I'm practicing under a senior counsel, I'm learning. So Nigeria
has the project of apprenticeship. After university, young people are taken through for 1 year to go and study in the different fields, practice, but still they're crying of unemployment.
They are crying of unemployment because they're coming out with a mindset from apprenticeship to seeking for a job, instead of from apprenticeship to creating something out of what you've learned. And we are so much we have fixed our brains into we have fixed our minds into being people who work for others other than people who create jobs for ourselves. And we are looking so much into the white-collar jobs and professional things that bring money to us, and we are forgetting there are these things that we can do that are out of our professions. For example, I'm a lawyer, but if I tell you the things I do, you cannot even believe it. I can go out over the weekends to do makeup on brides, birthday girls, and boys. That is out of legal, totally out. You can get me in Pajimud, where I come from, trying to run my business of hotel and so on, which belongs to my father. So that does not call of a lawyer, does it? And
so the opportunities, because I asked somewhere here, what are the challenges these young people are facing? The point of driving home actually is that there are opportunities out there, but perhaps the young people are not being guided. Like for instance, in the vocational training skills, yeah. I love the fact that even me of late, I'm beginning to love art and design. So I want to go into fashion and design maybe some 6 or 1 year to come. I should be more, not just, maybe design very good jerseys and t-shirts for the sports people.
Okay.
Yes, that is so good. So that is what. But what can we do more to encourage these young people to learn that besides being a lawyer, being a doctor, being a journalist, being a teacher, being a farmer, you can actually do this. What should be done? What's your recommendation?
What I recommend is young people should see beyond paper. They should see beyond their certificates. They should look out for it, because I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to have lunch out of my certificate. I have to find a way to live. And so many of us are so laid into the background, where we come from. Oh, I came from this family, we have never produced a person of this standard, so who am I? Underlooking ourselves and our potentials. So we have to have an attitude that drives us to getting something that we deserve. We don't have to undermine our potentials. That is one thing, because a mindset will lead you into doing something that no other can do. And it is one thing that so many senior people within Westnile have addressed, that we look just beneath our nose. We don't look 2 months ahead, 2 years ahead.
I've just all the people in Westnile given you young people enough time and space and avenue to look beyond your nose, or they're just playing ping pong, blame and politics?
That will depend on individual basis, because I may have the platform where I can meet.
Let's speak for the general young, the common young person, the wananchi in your district.
No.
In the Telegon what?
No. Few people have come out to actually address that and having a one-on-one with young people. So it's only us who are privileged to know some of these people that we seek knowledge from them. Yeah. So I may say it's
so there's a mismatch
to some of us, not all of us.
Yes.
Yes. Of which I really believe if such kind of conversations or discussions and dialogues are made more, but not only for only these people who can access it, but to also those who are down there who cannot even reach us, it will be more appreciative.
So Mercy, as I take on the gentlemen also to give me their voices about the employment, because the areas we're talking about, the theme that I have to follow, that is more interesting here in Westnile are 3. And the third one is the area of sports and education. We shall come to that. The young people have shown the desire that yes, they want to be somebody. But you look at the issue of illiteracy level, you talked about the literacy rate being so high. For instance, if you go to, you just pick from one of the sub-counties in Izongo, let me say, which one? Zeu or Ayaka, where the literacy level is really so high. And these young people are being neglected. What should be done for that sector of the young people who have not gone to school, and also not willing to go back to school, but you want their well-being? Of late, the government introduced the issues of the industrial parks and whatsoever. How can they tap into that?
Now, looking at that, you find also most of those people are not willing to go back to school, like you say. So I would advise that we look into the areas where they are. For example, if you're talking of Zeu, Zeu is a very good place for farming, and there is so much there's so much product produced out of Zeu. So we should identify what can interest the people who see what we can do to develop the opportunities they have. For example, improving on farming, agriculture, for them to not only look at domestic agriculture or having farming just to have it at home, but going into commercial agriculture so that they can also have what to eat but also have what to earn. That is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So that would be a very good...
The youth in the informal sector.
Yes, we should look into more of skills, helping them seek for skills and ways of how to bring products out of what they can do. Because not everyone will be privileged to go to school.
All right, thank you so much. That is Mercy Leku. Let me go to the host who, I don't want to exit this place without blessing. So I must make sure that the host is very comfortable with consent, so that as I cross Karuma, I go back with Onang. Okay, fine. Anything to add on? The mismatch, the gaps, at least Lego has really talked about it extensively. Is there anything, any opportunities you see is out there that the young people can tap into, that probably the civil society organizations like Action Aid and the rest, that would want to help? Where is the interest in the areas of employment?
Thank you very much once again. I love how Council Mercy made it so big enough for us to understand how best we should tap opportunities as far as employment opportunities are concerned. But now, my biggest problem, as I see, are two words.
Yes.
My people are misinterpreting these two words. Being concerned and committed to doing something is what is disturbing us.
Yes.
We seem to be very concerned about looking for jobs, but we are not committed
To look for jobs.
to look for jobs. So at the end of the day, it affects us. That means one thing that we should interest ourselves is going back to school. The majority youth we are talking about now, if we are to ask randomly within Westnile to have only 5 graduates in ICT, trust me, we may get 1 or none. Genuinely, and also upon getting this, asking this person to present his or her papers, you are going to mess. You are going to see a lot of mess. That means this student as well also missed a certain step. He or she was not committed while at school, but she was concerned about being in class.
Who is to be blamed?
So there,
the parents.
I still blame those in leadership. I still blame us in leadership. Because one thing that we must accept is to tell the community the truth, to tell the community the benefits of education, to tell the community what is available in the government. Like right now as I talk, we are looking for students to be enrolled on government sponsorship, to go for diplomas. But we are very getting this. We need senior 6. Tomorrow we may hear them say, we have not gotten this. And this person telling you he does not have this is not that he's telling you lies. He's telling you the reality. But here outside we see this person as somebody who has went to senior 6. He has come back with an ID from this institution. That means even those who are looking for jobs more are people who have not gone to school. They stop somewhere. Now, the issue where I'm blaming us in leadership is, can we take interest and understand where these people are? As their leaders, we come together, we talk to them. If the 401 has failed, can we go to skills? That's why now we demanded, let there be these sub-regional hubs to help those ones who cannot afford to go through the formal sector.
When you talk about the sub-regional hubs, what do you mean exactly?
The industrial hubs we now have. Like for Westnile, we have it in zone.
Yes.
That means we as youth leaders, it is our sole responsibility to mobilize the young people, to take interest. Those who are willing, it is to those who are willing.
But even those ones, no. Do you want to say even those ones who are not willing, you're going to discriminate them? Are you going to throw them out?
Of course now, if I'm not willing to go through something, how will you force me? And that is where now Madam Mercy was like saying, there are those who goes to institution to study courses which they were guided by their parents. Go and do this. This child or this student doesn't know what he or she is supposed to come out tomorrow. So we are saying, as youth leaders, we need to mobilize the young people who are willing to go for these skills development. Like in we have got a hub in this town where we are mentoring the young people with different skills. we are doing hands-on. Why? The former one has failed very many people. We are looking at the majority of these young people who are saying I've gone to school, but there are very few with the rightful document. Tomorrow when the District Service Commission advertises, trust me, the qualities of things you see. And these are people who are expecting jobs. So,
I still have one.
I want to conclude by saying, as young people, let us begin thinking outside the box. Okay. There is no need to continue rubbing shoulders. So and so is not supporting me. So and so is in this party. So and so is no. Time has come. Let us think together towards something we want to achieve. If it is education, let us pick education. If it is job, let us pick job. Of course, we cannot pick job without achieving education. So it is a key.
Thank you. I am now going to cut you short, please. Thank you. Because at a later point, I will have to involve the audience also to give me their view before we close up. We are closing up at midday, so that's why I'm also trying to rush. But thank God that we have tackled almost everything. So let's look at our other key area, the third one, on the areas of sports and sports and education. And I start with you. Perhaps maybe if there's something you would want to add that you recommend that we should be done in terms of jobs, well and good, but for me I thought maybe probably the colleagues have done enough. So in the areas of sports, you know we meet sports and education. Sports is sports, education is education. This is one thing that we are fighting for. But let us start with sports, because at least with education now, most of you have already discussed here. Are there opportunities in sports? And are young people neglecting sports opportunities? And sports, is it about just being a player? And what do you understand?
Thank you, Adam, super lady, for that purpose. Sports is something key to Westnile, only that most of us are not taking it seriously. Westnile has got a very rich talent of sports. We have produced very many sportsmen and sportswomen within Uganda. Yeah. But up to now, it bothers me so much to see young people not taking these sports very seriously. We ever had one of the best doctors in Chikuru, one of the first gold medals of Uganda, Commonwealth medals of Uganda. They came from Westnile. We currently have the Ajibes, who are the national goalkeepers of Uganda. These are national ones. They come from Uganda. Sorry, they come from Westnile. We have the Jagasons. So these are examples that must at least give you.
Perhaps maybe let me help you a little bit for purposes of people to know. Sports is not football. I normally discourage my fellow people who call themselves sports journalists and pundits. People think sitting in studio and talking about football is sports. No. Football is a component of sports. It's like medicine. You have diseases, so many. So maybe as I help you people here, we have rugby. In Uganda, we have 51 member associations of sports. And as some of the stars you have in rugby, you have Michael Wokurat, who is from Westnile here, Pakwat. Aaron Foyimot is from Zongo. You have Winnie Atiam, of course, she's from the other part of northern Uganda. Of course, and so many others, Byron Oketa, Yoouth, and the rest. And then the athletes, we also have Shida Leni of late, you know very well, and so many others involved. So when we're talking about the sport, so why are the young people not getting interested?
Thank you, Adon. You are actually taking my time, and you know.
No, I'm not taking your time. Wait. When you're a panelist, you have to behave. I am not taking your time. I'm actually taking you to the right direction.
I got you correctly, and that's why I was only mentioning yet 2 components of sports that you say. Yes. I've already given you 2, and those are the areas that I saw in where young people must have opportunities. Yes. And I appreciate that you are coming up with the rugby, and also I appreciate one colleague of mine, Deno is currently having a rugby club in Arua, which is doing very well. I'm so happy of it, and also partly we want to give back to such kind of initiatives. How can we, youth-led organizations, also give back to such initiatives that are youth-led? You get it? That is where the component is. Okay. And also you talked about I want to connect sports with employment.
Exactly.
How can sports be an employment to the young people?
True.
example of Cedar Lanes, take examples of the Jagarsons and so forth. The money that these people are getting, they bring it back to Westnile. They develop Westnile, meaning that anything they do outside there comes back to Westnile. And if a Jagarson is constructing a house, who are the ones constructing such a house? Is it not creating opportunity for young people, those who are constructing the houses and so forth? If other young people go outside, the sports is not anything that you take just for leisure. Most times, culturally, we take sports as a leisure, but those are gone times. Now, sports is employment opportunity. People earn in sports. So my biggest challenge has always been how can we instill this in the young people?
Do you think the sports federations and the National Council of Sports has done enough to make sports interesting to the young people?
That is what I'm looking at with the current federation. The current federation of Magogo, I'm seeing a lot of changes.
No, I'm
now.
talking about the federations, the 51. They are 51 bodies. That's why you see I was taking, and you said I was taking your time. There are 51 sports bodies registered under Uganda the National Council of Sports. Do you think these 51 federations have done enough to entice the young people to get involved, employed, to play in the areas?
No.
Thank you.
That is the point. No is the point. Meaning that these councils and also these federations have not come openly to popularize more on the sport activities to the young people. They have not given out that bit of employment, that bit of how can we tap that talent to utilize it within the country. They have not given this to the young people. And also the sports owners have not given much attention to the young people, meaning that they don't involve more of these young people in their decision-making bodies. Whereby you have, for example, I take an example of maybe Zombo is having a club. Now, Zombo, who owns that club? You see, the people that owns the club would want to own it without letting other people to be involved, to bring to them information that we want. Can we do this? Can we do this?
So what can be done? I want now a solution. What can be done? How can we have the young people get involved in sports?
Let these people give chance for young people to air out their issues in those spaces. Let young people bring out their challenges. Let young people be part of the decision-making bodies.
Are they being paid? Are the young people being paid well in the sports entities if you really follow?
No, I've not been following so much, but to a smaller extent, yes.
Now, as leaders,
those ones that have gone.
As leaders, have you done enough to help the sports to go out there, or to the leaders out there? Have they done enough?
No.
Thank you. But, do you have something you want to add on? And I come to Mercy to close up before I go to the people out there. What should be done? Do you think the leaders, you people, do you even interest yourself to follow games, rugby, football? Today, like for instance, today, the Lady Greats, the Uganda Lady Greats, are taking on Kenya Lionesses in the Women Africa Cup. Eh? And we have Mercy Leburu, who is one of the girls from Westnile in that team. Have you leaders done enough?
Well, thank you. Just as I earlier on cited as an example that as leaders we stand responsible for many things because we are in positions of social responsibilities. That means the people trusted us to work on their behalf. But again now, the sports that we are talking about has got a different leadership. It has got its own way of reaching where it is. But still, as youth leaders, as youth council, we have specific position among the 9 that we have. There is Secretary of Sports and Culture. That means that is the very office, the very person who should have been helping the young people in the community to know what sports is. Unfortunately, most of our community and people who think that they can do business with the sports think that it is only the football which is sports. Just as you professionally cited it. Yes. But again, still, we have sports and culture.
Yes.
We are moving away from the cultural part of it. Why are we running away? Like for us in Alone Land, right from Pakwach up to Zombo end, we have our cultural dance, the Agwara, the Ndara, the Adungus. You no longer see these things in existence. If they see you holding it, people think as if you are too behind. You are weak. You are promoting something that shouldn't have been brought back. But honestly, if we ask ourselves, which culture do we intend to promote? Then that is where we shall see a lot of challenge.
As I bring you back, do you believe that we have enough space in sports to employ the young people? Do we have?
Very much, very much.
Yes.
An example is the current sports club that we have. Let's now talk specifically in the football fraternity, because that is where more interest is. The kind of footballers we have, they all came from some of these funny clubs that people normally undermine. But
I want to correct you, they are not funny.
Fine, thank you. But
wait, as a leader, that is wrong. Because these people are watching us. Tomorrow, me as a sports journalist, I'm going to be questioned. They are not funny clubs.
Thank you. Yes. But still, these clubs that we normally look at, that are small, let me say now, that are small, are clubs where these young people are coming from. Like the Jagason is citing, I personally went where he has constructed, I took a friend to also be his tenant. He's making money out of that house now. But when you ask yourself, who is benefiting? Trust me, it is the entire community. Why?
The government.
And the government
is paying taxes.
Exactly. So there is need to invest ourselves as leaders in the sports and culture. Let us promote this. Let us talk about it. Let us handle it as something that can also give opportunity for others. It's not about that this is so and so, then we bring him here.
Right,
what I want to also underline the sports fraternity. Excuse me, a moment. What I only want to what I only want to request from the football management is, let us move away from sectarianism. We are talking about national sports and culture. Can we have our own people also presented at a certain level?
Actually, we are here. I'm talking about sports. I'm not talking about culture. So you are the one putting words into my mouth. I have not talked about culture. I have no. Don't mix our topic. We are talking about sports. How can the young people benefit from the sports? Mercy, you are a woman. We have so many women involved who have represented Uganda at international level when we talk about Westnile. Peace Proscovia is currently playing netball in the UK, in England. There's another Mary Nuba, she's also from Westnile. She is playing in the UK. And then here you have Mercy Lekuru, who is your namesake. She's currently the captain of the Lady Cranes of rugby team, and they're playing against Kenya today. It's an international match, World Cup qualifiers for women rugby. Now, you have all these women and others whom I will not mention. Do you think the women, the young women, have benefited enough from sports? And if not, where is this mismatch and what needs to be done?
Okay, I don't know if you can allow me first handle something before I
If it is within a minute, because I want to get a discussion.
It's within a minute. First of all, I'd like to identify the fact that we are so much into mediocrity as young people, in that we settle for less than we deserve most times. And that is because we are not educated of the roles and duties of people who are supposed to deliver these services to us. That's why I'll give an example, though we are not supposed to go political. I'll give an example of politics whereby young people are deceived by people in power with petty things that make them conclude that these leaders are worth it, forgetting the roles and duties of these people that actually brought them into power. So that spirit of mediocrity is what us, the young people, should avoid in order for us to elect good leaders. Okay. Now, that will bring us to the idea that Mr. Kakonda gave us.
I want you to I ask you a question about the women. Okay,
when it comes to the sports, I'm not so much a sports personality, but I can contribute something to that aspect. Because other sports, we should see that most of these sports-related facilities and projects are robot projects. They're just there to show that it's in existence, but there is nothing being done to lift it to something that can entice me, who is not a sports personality, to join.
Okay.
And by that we look at, in Uganda specifically, we have so many sports personalities. Let's give an example of people from Kapchura who have so much reigned the name of Uganda out there when it comes to marathons. but you question yourself, where, okay, they're running, but there is no professionalism attached to it when it comes to economic benefits.
Yes.
So how will you entice me who is somewhere, gifted maybe in also running, to join the Kiprotits in
So
running?
what needs to be done? What should, because this, the Action Aid will take it on and probably perhaps speak it to government and National Council of Sports.
Thank you. What I foresee is for us to improve on sports, we should uplift the personalities who are representing us. Because if you look at most of these people, you question, okay, you've gotten a gold medal. What have you achieved? Where is the house? Where is the car? Where is, because that is what ASEAN people want to benefit.
The value.
Yes, the value. So if I don't see value, I will not want to participate. So we should talk to the ministries that are involved in the sports to improve on this personality so that we can use them as examples to join.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mercy. Just to remind you that I myself, I am employed at Vision Group because of sports. If you want to cite the best example, you could use me because I think I am the only one from the whole of Northern Uganda as a female. Of course, we have other sports pundits around, but being a woman and taking it up there, that's why I asked how the women youth benefited from sports.
That is what I actually wanted to bring in.
Yes.
In the aspect that
Most of us right now look at sports as the male kind of engagement.
Exactly.
When you see a female talking about Man U, Chelsea, and so on, or any,
are you okay?
so
But
we
Sarah,
need
I've
to
changed
come out of
people's
that
mindset.
mindset. Yes.
3 people. Around 3 people. Yeah, because we are 2, actually 2. We are supposed to stop at 1:30. Yeah. The first man that comes first, I have seen Amos. I'm going to pick 3. Then I'm picking 1 gentleman from here. So which one should I pick? You agree? Agree the 2 of you. No. Time. We have TV time.
Today we are for you.
No. Then I'm picking the lady. Is your hand up? Okay, Amos. Come here before the camera. Put your point direct. It's not questions, but what you add on.
Okay, well, thank you. You raise an issue that young people benefited from the sports sector. Actually, the young people have not benefited so much. One, because the few people who have talent who have been exposed in the recent past, there are people who have got gold medals and many other things. They have not given back to the community. They have nothing to show up. It's very unfortunate that young people, when they get such opportunity, instead of inspiring the young people who are behind to get motivated, to also start participating in such things, they start living a miserable life. We have young people who have been excelling well in football, but when they reach a certain level of point, they just start feeling that they already made it in life. And at times it discourages others. So as sportsmen, the little opportunity that we get, let us try to inspire the young people so that they can join the sports and use it as an avenue to make money and make a living out of it.
Your name and your district.
My name is Gachanamas. I'm the district youth
So Amos,
chairperson.
help me and take the microphone to the lady behind there.
Thank you.
Yes, and then I'll come back to the gentleman. Perhaps maybe I'll pick one from behind there. Your colleague has gone out. Okay, if he comes back, I'll give him. But time. Please, okay, find your name and then just make your submission within a minute, please.
Thank you. I'm Nadia Idi Hassan. I come from Koboko district,
Thank you, Nadia.
the native of Arua district.
Wonderful.
My submissions are specifically on the sports.
Yes.
I want to express one thing. Nowadays, females are also getting into sports, especially football. We have currently we have Westnile Football Association, where ladies are being trained and they are really doing the football very well. So one thing I want to say is that they really need support, like kind of lifting them and maybe financing them, kind of exposing them to the world, so as to entice the rest of the females to be part of the sports and getting opportunities from it.
Thank you. I am going to stop with the time. Take it to the gentleman in the red t-shirt, then I come back to our senior elder here. Thank you so much. Please pardon me. It's because of time, you know, but at least everyone has to.
Thank you so much, Madam Moderator. My name is Craig Mugure. I am a sports administrator. I'm a FUFA delegate representing Navy District and also an executive member at the regional level.
Yeah.
When we talk about sport, you will agree with me that it doesn't start from nowhere. For the young people to develop interest in sport, it has to start at the family level.
Yeah.
However, our mindset is very, very bad. I came across a parent who one time was quarreling with the kid that you're always on football and not reading books. Where will that football take you? But we are here citing so many examples of young people who are changing lives at their home using football. And it doesn't stop only with football, it cuts across all the other sports disciplines. We have over 50 sports associations in the country.
Yes.
I want to be very clear on this. Sports alone can be able to employ the entire country.
Okay.
Sports, maybe football in particular, has so many components that can employ all the professions we have even within this ring.
Okay.
We have the business component, we have the medical component, we have the social workers, every one of us. So for us as young people, we change the narrative.
Okay.
Let's look at sports as one of the things, in addition to education, that can really take us far.
Thank you so much,
I would have loved to continue, but
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please help me and give the microphone to our elder there to give us his submission. It would be bad if the young people speak and the elder doesn't speak.
The nation is my name. I'm the vice pastor of AC5 in the district.
Yeah.
And Youth is part of my office because of the Department of Community Service. Now, moderator, I'll begin by talking about youth in terms of history. I want to say that why do I call history? Because today you are calling yourself youth, but you came from somewhere. That somewhere is the family. That family composed of a father and a mother. So, in my view, what you see happening now, the challenges, for example, of youth not working very hard, stems from the type of growth which they had in the family level. Allow me to say that as we talk today, in the current world now, there is a lot of responsibility that has been left out at the family level. The family styles, for example, the family-led actions. You know very well in those days youth would be allowed to go to their aunties, to go to your uncles. These days, that type of setting, for example, in this part of Uganda has changed. You are very well proud of this technology. This technology has brought a lot of challenges also along with it. One of the challenges of technology today, for example, is pornography. By the way, this pornography is enjoyed even much by the 75% you are talking about. So, you know, when you enjoy pornography, for example, it changes your mind.
Just a little bit. Are you trying to say that the young people enjoy pornography than what?
They can allow me to say this. They really enjoy this.
Do you have the statistics with you? Or is it just an assumption you presume about the young people?
Well, it is not an assumption. Let me tell you this. We have a research that has been done, for example, in the district. That research, if I give you the details, you will cry. One of the research, one of the details takes to place them within
within the age bracket of 10, for example, to 24, already 90% knows about sex, and they have already played. That is part of pornography, by the way, if we go into detail. So I'm going to bring this in the context of, much as we talk about those problems there, what about the moral part of the youth? There is a lot of...
I'm going to request you, Honorable, to
Now, number two...
Summarize, please.
Yes. Number two, for us in the district, the chairperson has been talking about, they'll be talking about the scaling. We have some scaling institutions in the district. We have a good number of them. There, we have Plan International, which is also supporting our youth. We have a scaling center that they call it Smart Factory. Also, we have Lucky Nations. They also employ the recruit people and they train them in livelihood skills. We also have a training venue in Zongo. That one has been open. We submitted, we enrolled 27 of them and others around. So I think the best, I also agree, on education. At least we should really bring more of the training institutions.
Okay. I'm going to inform you at a later stage. I kindly advise you to sit there because at a later stage...
You know, I didn't see any program related to the chairperson talking, so I felt like you say something.
It's okay.
I would have gone back without saying anything.
You're still going to talk. I still need you. Sit there, Mr. Chair. Our Vice Chairman, sit there. Please don't go. Because we are going to reach at a point of making commitments from the district leaders that at a later point. But before that, I would want us to have the young people who are online, if they are ready. I don't know whether we have also been able to capture Honorable Nyamutoro Fiona and Mr. Jacob Eyeru. If they are also available, perhaps they could make it a contribution and then also have a few conversation from the young people who are online. And then now we go to the action point, because after this we need the action point to be captured. So Onoba, are we ready? Are we ready with the young people online? I hope the technology has at least worked a little bit. So ladies and gentlemen, purely this is the voice of the young people. Like you've really agreed that we all want to have a space where Westnile can be a better place for everyone. We would not want to see this case of seeing young people running, going to Saudi Arabia, and then they are tortured there, and then people have to go and evacuate them, bring them back to the country. I don't want that situation to reach in Westnile, because Westnile is rich enough that we have enough space to accommodate all of us. However, we just need to have that enabling environment that could give space to these people to nourish, to flourish in agriculture. I am so happy that I'm seated with leaders here who are in business, agriculture, fashion, everything, legal, so you can really see. Are we ready with our people online? If they are not ready, then we are going to go to something different. Okay, fine. I can see. Okay, are we ready? So who is online there? Please remember, put for me time. Put for me the person who is online already and we get the conversation. Yes, so you wrote Geoffrey. I welcome you on the space. Of course, the Westnile Forum, where we are discussing about the Youth Manifesto, the Westnile Youth Manifesto. What you've heard keenly from our panelists, and what is your thought? What do you have to add for us?
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity and the platform to talk. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk. Yes, I have already unmuted, and can you hear me?
But I can see you. Unmute, please.
Yes, I have unmuted. And
is it the system? Because for him it looks to be speaking.
Yes, I hope you can get me. I have unmuted. First and foremost, I want to say thank you so much.
Maybe try to put it on next
me the opportunity to talk to the young people out there.
Please, if you don't mind, can you refrain? Can you start afresh?
Yes, I want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak out my views. Yes, we've had a lot being said, but let me try to tackle something on the sports and educational system in West Nile. About a week ago, there was a game that was played in Arua, and that was West Nile Inter-University Football League. And I come from a university, but separated in this game. And the 6 universities all came from within Arua. So there was nothing to say it is West Nile Inter-University Football League, rather than saying it is Arua Inter-University Football League. Now, this shows the gap that West Nile is still lagging behind. When we look at Nebi, because it's where I come from, right now we don't have any university within Nebi, not even a branch of a university. And try to look also at other higher institutions of learning. You will find they are not there, with the exception of Omier Komboni in Angal and some other smaller.
Yes, I'm getting you.
Smaller, where they do maybe the handcraft, tailoring and so on. But let's try to leave that aside. One thing about sports, they talk about football. And in 2005, we had a very good sporting discipline, and that was boxing. That was being held in Le Grand, the current Jam Vibes. Apart from that, where Centenary Bank is situated right now, we had very brilliant and vibrant volleyball and basketball. But right now, where are these games? Now, the question is, when the federation, maybe the district federation or associations are organizing these games, what are their plans? What are their targets? Is the target the organizers to benefit, or the target in the games to benefit? That is one gap that is lacking. Two, let's try to look at the motivational factors. Let's look at the motivational factors. We don't have people who can motivate us to engage in sports to the utmost phase. Let me try to say, I have seen some vibrant youth who used to participate very well in athletics. One of them was called Ourunga from Pakwach. Then there were very many other good boys who used to run from Erusi. Where are they right now? So we have to engage these sports, but also we look at the continuity of the same sport. So talking will not solve an issue. We have to rather do the action. We have to implement whatever we are talking. It's a good that this is a platform. Can we try to incorporate the other disciplines? The basketball, the badminton, the bats, the netball, the rugby, the hockey, the volleyball, the woodball, the tennis, the gymming, sporting activities. Sports are meant to bring these youth together. It's supposed to bring us, unite us, and get us together so that we can share ideas for the development of the place.
I'm going to cut you short and you pick someone else, please. I'll list one more, two more people, so that we get a commitment from the leaders. Please allow us speak another person. Thank you so much for your input, and we have taken that into consideration. Thank you. Let's have another person. 2 people at least, and then we go into the commitments of the district leaders. Please unmute your microphone. Okay, we are waiting hearing from you. Please unmute your microphone. Hello? Okay, we are waiting in for the next person online, if the person is there. Are we ready? If it has job, maybe probably do something different now. Let me now get a commitment. Please, can you unmute for me that feedback? Okay. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we've had quite a good discussion out there. No, but just move off that computer, please. I think let's just stop with that. Our technology is not literally helping us, it's actually distorting. So now we want to get the commitments of the leaders. Where do we start from? Someone from Action Aid to help to move the microphone. We want the commitment of the leaders. As we start with you, then we shall come back here. Let us get commitment from some of our leaders from the discussions that we have taken here. What do we commit? What do we say? In regards to the agenda, the Youth Manifesto, what do we agree? What needs to be done? In the thematic areas we've talked about, the area of the infrastructure, employment, and then of course sports and education. Yes, who is ready to take on? Yes, Chairman, would you like to take on? Please, thank you.
Thank you.
You can decide.
You see, Madam, I don't fear committee, but my...
Well, let me hope I'm not the only one who is not hearing, because it seems now I'm not hearing anything that is being said.
What commitment is like, what you advise, what do you commit?
We have always been having technical issues from the word call. So I think the discussion was good. One that is happening at the superstition level, we should bring it more on the economic base. That's where the discussion is needed. Otherwise, bring a discussion on TV, live TV, how many youth watch their TV, first and foremost. It will make no impact and it becomes very relevant. We can take this to the radio station. Then we have this community-based approach. They work more than this high-level discussion. To me, anyway, it has happened and good that we had it. It's an eye-opener.
I want to understand from his point of view, from where he's coming from.
Someone from Francis rectified it out because you are not hearing anything.
So who was taking the rapporteur, please could come up and give us some of the key thematic areas that you've taken up, and then we
guys, I think we are
please people speak to me.
The event getting all the members and
okay, we are live on TV by the way, so anything that we're doing is actually being seen out there. So please, Sharon, please help me out and come and rescue me on this.
Well, I'm still not hearing whatever they are saying, but I think we have a very big gap in these issues. I don't know how this can be well addressed, but I think we need to have a clear platform where all these problems can be addressed. I think sometimes they choose the wrong people to lead us, and in the end, they don't deliver the intended purpose for which such a podium has been organized.
By the young people here. All right. Thank you so much.
And again, some of us who had the privilege of sitting in political science class, you will agree with me that we do not need representatives sometime on some issues. The work that is being deployed in youth right now do not necessarily need us to depend on the leaders. Because I had some time back, there is what called the Westnile Youth Parliamentary Forum, and I posed a question and said that how many youth are represented in that parliament, how many executives do we have, and where do they come from, and where is the headquarters located. But what we need to do right now is to take action. We should look for sponsors ourselves, not now our leaders. If you believe you have some talent and you have your group that have talent, we should now, it's upon you to look for talent sponsors or sell your sport. No longer now leaders doing everything. It doesn't work. They only come during political time. And right now you can't see them, but wait when 2025 approach, that's when you start seeing them on the ground actively. Coming back not with good intention, but just with the political intention. Once it's over, you're on your own. So me, things of political representation, I'm one of the guys who don't believe in democracy. It doesn't just work for me.
At the national level to discuss some of these issues, because some issues are very
I think that's a very good input, bro.
under the mandate of the local governments, and they need central level intervention. So there's need for an engagement where you
now, for example, you have it's called Honorable Moro, Westnile with that example, and they're talking about it.
Government to prioritize some of these issues, and I think that is within the mandate of the district leadership.
Yeah, as they have technical problem, I think I see Ovoyo Amos raising up some beautiful points in the chat room. How are we speak a thing about these ideas you are raising?
Someone raised under SPATs that the organizers tend to focus on the benefits, but not so much on how to support the young people who participate in sports. And they would, he thinks the organizers need to, as they focus on profits, but they should understand that they need to support the young people who participate in those sports. So we can have a discussion on that and see how the organizers understand the needs of the young people, not necessarily looking at the profits. The other issue was on the skilling centers. Yes, the district does have, some districts have the skilling centers. But the issue of accessibility, and perhaps who knows that these skilling centers exist, the information, the dissemination among the young people about these skilling centers is something that the district can take on. Yes, maybe the industrial hub exists, but who knows where it exists? It's even equipped. Who knows the services that exist at the skilling center? And that is something that chairman and the other leaders can take on. Then there was an issue of engaging those who have succeeded in sports, yes, to act as examples. And I'm sure you can identify those who have progressed in sports and see how you can use them to act as examples, because sports is an area of employment. So if we can engage them as district, as leaders, and see how they can continue engaging other people, but also connect perhaps other young people to opportunities of sports. So I hope you're taking note of some of those things that you can respond to in the meantime.
Okay. Is there anything that has been left out in, let me get to, you sit there. Let me get to my panelists here. Is there anything that the rapporteur has left out as in regards to the recommendation, the key areas we talked about, the issues of infrastructure, and for you, can clearly, yours is more so of roads. You did not talk about the schools, because I remember there's a point I asked about the issue of schools. Are you okay with the status quo of infrastructure in terms of the school structures in the districts of Westnile? Who would want to take on? Is there anything you want to add? Yes, Xavier. And let's be brief, because we are almost closing up.
Well, thank you. That question didn't come clearly to me, but fine, it's okay. I'm interested in understanding that. Why? Because when you look at our own performance in Westnile sub-region, it is alarming. Many a times, we don't take serious issues on the matters of education. That's why, at the end of a national examination, our students fail badly. Very few succeed to get in government sponsorship to the universities and the rest. But now, our main interest should be now looking at how best we can put a new face to these schools. Some of them have been built long time ago. Historically, they are now going down in terms of infrastructure, in terms of staffing and the rest. So there is need for us to come and understand the status of these schools. As leaders, let us understand them, we engage the community, how best
so
they
what do you recommend exactly?
So,
do you want the infrastructure to be worked on? What?
My recommendation is the infrastructure and the schools to be worked on, the buildings to be worked on, yes. Then two, there is need to also add more teachers in some of these schools because now there are very few, as well as encouraging the community to also take back the children to school, because now we cannot say let us renovate this school when the students are not there, the children are not there. That means as leaders we need to get back to community. Right. From community we get the government.
Okay, let me get to Yasin, is there any recommendation that has been left out that you pointed out you wanted it to be added?
Not specific at me, but Cynthia did talk about young people must go back to school, which is key to me. I feel it's important that because sometime back in Yumbe, you remember the saga of Yumbe youth and, yes. And the local government and so forth, where the young people say they want jobs. And when the local government came up and said, okay, NGOs, can you give us the work that we want to give to these young people? And in turn, we found that there were few young people that were
instead of having a medical doctor,
exactly. So that is the point, meaning that it's very important to me that as young people, we need to interest ourselves with knowledge. We need to make sure we have the paper such that when we are outside there,
how can you help those young people to go to school? That is a recommendation he wants.
Yes.
What should be done to take them back to school?
Government needs to come up with initiatives that can bring out these young people and also put them back to school.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Fiona, sorry, Mercy, do you want to add on?
Mine is just looking at the quality of education, because we are standing against the rest of the country that are receiving the best quality kind of education, but we have our own children in school being taught in Alur but sitting exams in English, being taught in their native languages, but they have to write their exams, their final exams in English. So it does not go on an equal ratio. Then looking at infrastructure development when it comes to schools, I'm looking at we are wasting time demanding for more infrastructures in form of classroom blocks when we have not put in place ways of how to maintain these structures. That is why we are seeing most of these structures are going down, because there is no maintenance for them.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's all.
Maybe the last. No, let me give it to the next one.
Okay, the next person is actually now going to be. Now, I am supposed to get a commitment from a district leader. Now, which district leader?
Just before the district leader, one other thing that was raised so much yesterday on the online discussion was the relationship between children or students and their teachers. That also demoralizes these children from going to school.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, the host of maybe district, the host of this event, you are the district leader. Please, you are the last person who is now speaking. Kindly give us the commitment of the leaders, on behalf of the leaders of Westnile.
Thank you, moderator. I want to say that this meeting, this forum has been organized very, very well. I'm very happy about it, because it has really exposed us to the rest of Uganda and the world.
Thank you.
This is maybe, and however little it may be, but we are hosting it and we are very grateful for the people who have organized this Westnile Youth Forum. I know that this Westnile Forum is part of a bigger forum which is known as WENDA. These programs here, I remember very well, are part of what the WENDA Association of Westnile for all the 85s. This kind of forum is part of what they discuss. I requested for the reporter to read, because I wanted me to be very sure of what we are going to commit ourselves. Actually, those
I am reminding, please just remind you that I'm reminding
yes.
only 2 minutes to
it's okay.
close.
I want to say that as Navy leadership and on behalf of Westnile, I commit
without fear that those way forward and recommendations given by youth are can become part of the working document that can be presented at the national level. I say this to all.
All right, thank you so much. Please, you may take your seats now. Within, as a wind up, I just have only 3 minutes. Please, you may take your seat, dear rapporteur, that side. So, I'm giving you, each of you, a second to make your conclusive remarks. Just seconds.
I would like to say thank you to Action Aid, to One Luo TV, to Westnile TV, and all other stakeholders that have looked up to this day coming to pass, the participants, both physical and online. Thank you for this opportunity for laying down the youth voices so that we can be heard. We pray this does not stop here, and every discussion that we've made here to be taken up to implementation levels.
Thank you so much. Yes, Yasin.
Thank you, Anamo, and thank you, organizers. Thank you, all participants, and those who are online. Thank you very much for listening to us. I want to leave this with Article 38 of the Ugandan Constitution that says every Ugandan citizen has a right to participate, to influence the policies of government, which is key to us as young people. We must make sure we utilize that section of the Constitution and pay your taxes and also demand for accountability from the leaders, starting from district level up to national level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, please. Our dear hosts, as you wind up in seconds.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate Action Aid in a special way for having identified something from the young people that should be presented in such a forum. Is I really want to appreciate you so much. Where you see we are not doing well, I encourage you to continue bringing us closer so that we understand our status as the sub-region of Westnile and in particular every district where we are, and to the young people where we are. Please, wherever you are, I request us to take a few that we have mentioned here, and with what you have, you add, we put them into practice together so that the Westnile we want should be the rightful place to attract everyone's interest in this country and outside. To us in every district, I really want to appreciate the district authority for having given us time as the district to host this first of its kind activity in the district. Please, I really want to encourage you, and that is how we work in NEPI.
All right, please.
It has never been a challenge.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We are going to have another forum of further discussion. Yes, but I'm sure we can in One Luo TV, other platforms or form away. Of course, I'm a moderator, but also at the same time, again, you are Vision Group, but I can't be the moderating program. Any program, a mere share of its kind in entire Westnile, as young people of Westnile coming together. And for us as Vision Group, we're going to be partners of this kind of engagement because we are actually the largest people at Vision, the young people. We are the ones working and trying so hard to see. Just one encouragement. Take that step, a bold step. Nineno, where there are gaps as a young person, and go there. Sarah, today I am who I am because yes, I can be a sports journalist. And today I sit on the table of men. I talk to Magogo, I talk to William Blake, I talk to Godwin of rugby and the rest, and so many of this country because I chose that path. I want you to know I'm going to do that. So, for you, very big thank you so much to all my panelists here. Of course, I had to speak some more because we want everyone inclusive. To my panelists, send regards to Walua, Nebi, Wafoyo, Dan Inde, Kudine, then, of course, our two leaders, Fiona Nyamtoro and the chairman who didn't attend. Perhaps it is the network challenge and that they didn't attend with us. Otherwise, we as Vision Group and me as a young person, I'm ready to uplift a fellow young person to come up. For my way, we don't matter. See you some other time and with another program. Bye-bye.
Wow, so what a meeting, guys. Yeah, we've heard what have been said, so we wait for the implementation. So,
we can now have a formal discussion.
Mr. Yoouth, I want to assure you, nothing will be implemented. That is what I was talking about, the high-level discussion. It doesn't have any impact on the economic base. That's why it's ending.
My formal discussion is about our duty. There is a saying, as you are, once I was. As I am, one day you will be.
So are we waiting back for these people, the moderators, to talk to us, or it's the end of the meeting and we can vacate?
But a brief remark from you. You can react on what has been discussed. What have you picked, and what do you think was the most interesting issue we should talk out?
Yeah, I think what stood in for me is that it's been a good platform to raise our issues as young people. But one thing we should remember is that the problems we are raising now is going to be a problem we are the one going to continue facing. It's not them, it's us. So it's high time we come together. So when they talk about youth unemployment, yeah, it is true. More so when you look at Nebi, Nebi is lagging behind. Even our neighboring Pakwach and the Zombo, we cannot compare it to Arua. Arua has now gained a city status. And when you look at Arua, it has over 8 universities, and there are very many higher levels, like higher institutions of learning, the nursing schools, the computer centers and all these things. But when we look at Nebi, someone finished senior 6. There are very many schools now, senior 6, they finish, but where do they go, given the nature of the parents, so all these things are going to impact on our life. So it's us to try to do the job creation and the building, and also we have our own brothers. Now, another thing is our leaders should stop blaming the young generation. I saw our youth leader trying to blame some of the youth for being lazy. Let us try to find out why are they lazy. Sometimes they are not lazy because they want to be, but it's because the situation around them and also the people that influence them. So we have to really is it Oshatre Slivers? Can you try to mute now?
Thank you so much, guys. For us, people see us here. For us, our goal is to push the agenda of people. But much as sometimes we don't benefit so much out of it, but my joy is to see a fellow Ugandan
as I was saying, so they should stop blaming us and avoiding us. And also there are some opportunities that come for the youth, and the youth don't get anything from them. To be honest, let me try to give you an example. 2015, 2016, 2017, I was in Angal S.
What next after here? First of all, I want to say thank you to all the leaders who showed up, and thank you for the young people who joined in online. Despite all the challenges we are having, we have managed to have the event successfully concluded. After this, Sarah, sorry, I also like to have attention to myself. After this, we are hoping that we are going to have a compiled report on this, the Westnile Youth Manifesto, and we'll definitely have a launch of the report, because now the chair, on behalf of the entire region, you have committed, and still we are going to have a follow-up with a few leaders to have our report hold weight. Then we shall launch it with a few leaders and also have it spread out in all the different districts. Because at Ministers here we have Yumbe, we have Koboko, we have Moyo, we have Zombo, and Nebi and Pakwach. But on my own behalf, as Sharon and as the daughter of this place, as an Alur, as a Kebu girl, I think I'll be proud to see that Westnile one day is not considered as, a standalone region, but to be a region that can reflect what is happening in the rest of the country. So, I don't want to talk too much about the activity. Just know that the activity, I know here we're dwelling on a few areas, but we are going to focus on infrastructure We are going to look at education and sporting. We are looking at climate change, and we are looking at employment opportunities for young people. So that is how, that is the broader picture of the report. Away from that, this is administrative announcement. This sitting was supposed to have very few people. I'm going to give in a form. You're going to sign in for your transport refunds. And usually we pay via mobile money. For those who came from far, we are going to give you your accommodation too, because we know that you slept around. We'll clear that. But those who will give in their MTN. Note one thing, we do viral load, that is MTN to Airtel. I mean Airtel to MTN. If you give in your MTN, don't ensure that you withdraw that money. It should not elapse. Like 3 days should not elapse when you receive the message. The money is not going to be in your account, it will come in form of a message. Pule Robert, Pule and Asimwe Robert plus Max. Please. You're making noise. Yeah. Administrative announcement. Usually I know people, you'll have a challenge withdrawing the money. It may not be because you do not know, but it could be because you're too busy to attend to the messages, and it will bounce back to us. And because we are now closing the year, it may be very difficult for you to get back that message. So please enter the correct digits, enter the right number, your rightful information, and I'll show you the amount of money you'll sign for. Meanwhile, don't leave yet, we still have lunch. Apologies that you had your breakfast very late because we thought we couldn't interrupt in the live stream. But please wait on your lunch and have it before you can disperse. I also have t-shirts to give you. You'll also sign for that. Thank you very much.
I just want to thank you so much. For those who maybe thought I didn't give them enough time, we are sorry, but you see broadcasts is like that. I hope you understand. But I'm happy that most of the people spoke what we all wanted. And also to the panelists, in case I overpress you on the wall, that is how it's supposed to be. I really wanted the best out of you, yeah? And I want to thank my colleagues in the media, Westnile TV, and other media houses that are here, Daily Monitor, I can see. And then of course, as Vision Group, we work as a team. We want to thank you so much. Let's continue pushing for the agenda of the young people of Westnile, okay? Let us not tire. Wherever you are, you have space on Twitter. By the way, for guys who want to follow me on Twitter, I am very active on Twitter these days. At Adonsara5, super late. At Adonsara5. Follow me on Twitter.
I forgot one thing. This is for our online participants. There is a form that has been sent in the chat box. There are 2 forms. That's for your attendance and your data refund. Please fill in and submit as soon as possible.
Hello everyone, can you hear me?